Can everybody hear me? Great. It's my daughter's logged in. She didn't want me to leave this morning. I'm like, how do you deal with me? So that's why I'm a little late, so I apologize. I'm almost ready. Let me just see if I can hook in to this music real quick. I'm gonna be good to go. And if it doesn't work right away, I'm gonna abandon it.
Let's channel, right channel.
Okay, good morning, everybody. Hi, everybody at home, everybody in the studio who breathed the rain. I was like, oh, there's a lot of people virtually today. It's pretty smart. So, in honor of the spring equinox this week, which, believe it or not, it's spring, it doesn't necessarily feel like it today. But we're going to do a class focused on balance between two different kinds of energy, between yin and yang. And we talk about this a lot in yoga, especially because we teach two different styles of yoga here at the studio. This class, gentle class, a hatha class, especially a vinyasa class, are all yang styles of yoga. The yin yang symbol, right? The balance of energies. And yang is most of our life is spent in that energy. Everything that we do that requires movement, that's busyness, that's exerting and using our energy. It's masculine, it's loud, it's go, 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 right? And we don't necessarily spend a lot of time, especially in this culture, in the energy of yin. Yin is quiet, it's still, it's dark, it's heavier. And so today we'll do a practice that's half gentle yang, where we'll move and we'll open up the body. And then the second half of the class we'll do in a yin style. And what does this mean and what's the difference? So yin yoga, the poses are the same, the shapes are the same. They're poses that you've done before in a yang class on your mat. But the way that we do them is different. We come into the pose and we find a shape so that our bones are in a certain structure. And then we do our best to relax and let go so that we can bypass the use of our muscles, which are yang, which are always active. And instead we get into the connective tissue. Our fascia can start to open. And that's what gets really tight in the body. So we come into a pose, we commit to the shape, we hold the pose for a length of time, anywhere from 3 to 5 minutes. If at any point you feel pain, numbness, or tingling, that's your body's way of telling you to come out. If there's just a sensation of wanting to get out because your mind is telling you to, you see if you can stay. You see if you can kind of stay and be in the discomfort and kind of let things go. So at my house right now, things are super young because we're in the middle of a construction project. And I have 2 little kids and it's always just chaos. And so on my way here today, I get in the car by myself. I didn't even turn anything on. I just drove in quiet and silence. I was like, this is just what I needed. It was like a little reset. And granted, I was late, so it kind of counteracted it, but it's still that, sometimes we just need to find that balance, and this time of year, the equinox is perfectly poised for that, for us to kind of assess where our lives are out of balance, where we need different types of energy to kind of create more equilibrium and harmony in our lives. So let's take a nice comfortable seat. You can sit up nice and tall on some props. Close your eyes. And take a moment to welcome yourself to your practice today. And allow all parts of yourself, your thinking mind, your emotional body, your physical self, to begin to integrate and become present here in this moment, in this space. Noticing if your mind is still ruminating on something that happened this morning, or if it's racing forward into the future, thinking, planning. And see if with the use of your breath, if you could bring yourself right here and now into your body. So how do we do that? The first thing is that we feel into our body. Feel the parts of your body that are on the ground. And allow those parts to get heavy and rooted. And just notice and feel the sensations. Your seat on the ground, your legs on the ground, your feet on the ground. Settle into your body. Bring your awareness back to your breath. As you inhale, lengthen the sides of the body. Take your shoulders up, back, and down. Glide your hands back on your thighs until your elbows are just under your shoulders. As you breathe in, feel your body fill with breath. And as you breathe out, feel it empty. Relax your tongue in your mouth, letting it get heavy and wide on the lower palate. Relax your forehead. Soften your eyes, allowing the corners of your eyes to get wider so that your eyeballs can descend back into their sockets. Notice your back body and see if you could lean back. Maybe it's just a mental sensation more than a physical movement, just bringing the awareness to the back body, or maybe you really do lean back just a little. And then align the center of your head right over your tail, base of your spine. And notice if you feel differently now that you've created a little more balance structurally in your body, a little more balance between your mind-body connection. And how just this act of becoming present, breathing, becoming embodied, how much that can change. On your next inhale, draw your hands together in front of your heart. I invite you to set an intention for your practice today. Perhaps it's to find more balance in a certain area of life, committing to maybe taking more time for yourself. Maybe it's committing to more activity, right? Maybe more physical movement, maybe less, maybe more stillness, whatever it is for you. And if you're not sure, which very oftentimes we know we're out of balance, but we're not sure where, or how, or what to do about it, then that can be your intention. To notice, to have the imbalances highlighted for you, so that you can bring awareness to it. And then let's seal our intentions and begin our class with 3 cleansing breaths. Take a deep breath in and let it go with a sigh. 2 more like that. And then gently bow your head to your heart. Slowly open your eyes, release your hands. We're going to come to all fours. So set up in a tabletop position. Move your props off of your mat. Bring your knees right under your hips, your wrists under your shoulders. Spread your fingers evenly wide with your index fingers pointing straight ahead. You can tuck your toes or have them pointing straight back. If they're pointing straight back, you'll look down the front of your body and make sure that your heels aren't collapsing out to the sides. Then as you inhale, arch your spine, take your gaze up. And as you exhale, round your back. So just moving through some really gentle cat-cow movements here. And maybe you notice where things are out of balance in your body. We all have asymmetries, these differences side to side. We all have these areas where we're innately tight, where we hold our tension. And we all have areas where we're hypermobile, where we're maybe too flexible. We need a little more stability. For most of us, we're hypermobile in the low back and tight in the upper back. Maybe it's your shoulders and your neck that hold tension. So just notice. And on your next inhale, come back to a neutral spine. Draw your low belly in, so you're supporting your low back. Extend your right leg back with your toes tucked under on the ground. So here, you have socks on. This might be a good time to take them off. You'll tuck the toes under, press out through the back heel, and stretch through the calf, through the back of the leg. Melt the heart, breathe. And then while you're here, if it feels okay on your neck, you can drop your chin and take some gentle neck circles, neck rolls. Bring your right ear towards your right shoulder, left ear towards your left shoulder. This is a really safe way to stretch the neck because you're working with gravity. You can't just throw your head back too much because gravity is pulling it down. And it keeps the cervical spine a little safer. It's just a few breaths like this. You'll bring your head back to center and switch sides. Bring your right knee down, extend your left leg back, toes tuck under on the ground, press out through your heel. Extend out through the front of the head, couple of breaths. And then you can see if maybe taking some more neck rolls feels good. Bring your head back to center, bring your left knee down to the ground, tuck your toes under, come into downward facing dog. Take your hips up and back, root down through your index finger, your thumb. Breathe.
Help.
You can pedal out through your legs here, bending one knee and sending the opposite heel towards the earth.
Dad, help her. Dad, help.
On your next inhale, step or jump your feet to meet your hands. Exhale as you fold. Knees can stay bent here if your hamstrings are tight. As you inhale, lengthen to a flat back. Your hands can glide up the sides of your shins, shoulder blades on your back, reach out through the crown of your head, and then exhale, fold back in. Inhale, lengthen halfway. And exhale, fold. One more time. Now press down into your feet. Inhale, reach your arms all the way up to the sky. And exhale, hands to your heart. So take a look at your feet. See that they're parallel, sitting bone or hip distance apart. Press down into your feet. Get really rooted. Kneecaps lift, legs are active. Inhale, reach your arms up. Interlace your fingers, steeple your index fingers. Straighten out your arms to hug your ears, if that's available. And then draw your low ribs in, so you're engaging your abdominal muscles. Root down, inhale, lengthen. Exhale, reach out over to the right. Send your hips to the left. Breathe. Inhale back through center. Exhale, reach out and over to the left. Send your hips to the right. Inhale back through center. Exhale, release. Inhale, sweep your arms up. Exhale, bow forward and fold. Inhale, lengthen halfway to a flat back, and exhale, step back, downward facing dog. Right leg lifts as you inhale, lunge it forward as you exhale. As many steps as it takes to get it to the top of your mat. Right knee over your right ankle. Hug your legs in towards each other. Press down into your feet. Left hand stays down, inhale, sweep your right. Curl your shoulders back, heart open, lean back. Exhale, release, downward facing dog. Here you can stay in down dog. You can take a pause in child's pose, or you can move through a vinyasa. To do that, you'll inhale forward to a high plank. Exhale to lower. Point your toes straight back. Press the tops of the feet down. Take your shoulders up, back and down. Inhale, arms. Exhale, downward facing dog. Left leg lifts as you inhale. Lunge it forward as you exhale. Left knee over the left ankle, press out through your back heel. Back thigh lifts, and then you can hug the legs in towards each other. Reach out through the crown of the head. Right hand stays down, and you'll sweep your left arm up.
You have me, your mom and
Pull
myself.
shoulders back, heart open, breathe.
Oh, too much sensitivity.
Exhale, release, downward facing dog. option to move through vinyasa here. And you take whichever option brings more balance to your practice.
Erin, we're hearing your daughter more than you. She's not on mute.
From down dog, you'll inhale, walk your feet forward to meet your hands. Exhale as you fold. Press down into your feet, inhale, sweep your arms all the way up.
You have the
And exhale.
side.
Take a wide-legged stance on your mat. If you're in the studio, you can face this wall.
One.
Erin, we
So
can't
here,
hear
see
you.
your feet are parallel. The tendency is for the toes to turn out slightly, so you may need to widen your heels. There's a tech issue. Hold on one sec. Can you guys hear me?
No, it's your daughter is not on mute, so we're seeing and hearing her.
Who, Ani?
One of them, you're.
Okay. So sorry. Let me see if I wonder if I can lock it. All right. That should help. I'm gonna leave my volume on so I can hear if that happens again. Okay, sorry guys, here we go. Daughter unmuted herself. Okay, so legs wide, widen your heels, send your arms straight out in line with your shoulders. Take a breath. Turn your right toes out. Your heel to arch aligned now. So your front heel dissects the back arch of your foot. Good, then bend your right knee. If your knee moves past your ankle, you need a little more space. Good. Take your gaze out over your right middle finger. Bring the center of your head once again right over your tailbone. So notice here the tendency to move out of balance. We usually lean forward in this pose. We're kind of leaning forward into the future. The front arm represents that. So imagine somebody grabs your back wrist and kind of pulls you back to center, right? And breathe. Soften your shoulders away from your ears. Flip your front palm, reverse your warrior. Inhale back up to warrior two. Straighten your right leg, turn your right toes in, interlace your hands behind your back. Take your shoulders up, back and down. Lift your heart, take a breath in as you exhale, fold forward, wrap your arms overhead. Resist your shoulders away from the ground. Release the clasp of your hands and bring your hands to your hips. Shoulder blades on your back from the back of the heart, come all the way up. Turn your left toes out. Your heel to arch aligned. Bend your left knee, extend your arms straight out, warrior two, second side. Shoulder blades on the back of the heart, take your gaze out over your left middle finger, and notice if you're present, if you're centered in your body, or if the tendency is to lean a little too forward. Can you draw the center of the head right over the tailbone? Right rib cage moves back, and breathe. Flip your front palm, reverse your warrior. Nothing changes in your legs, just lean back. Lengthen out of your pelvis. Inhale, warrior two. Exhale, press into your left foot, straighten your left leg, interlace your hands behind your back, turn your toes in. So feet are parallel, and once again, inhale, lengthen, exhale, bow forward and fold. Resist your shoulders away from your ears and reach the crown of the head down toward the ground. Release the clasp of your hands to your hips. Inhale, come all the way up to stand. Good, and exhale, step your feet together. So here we'll come into tree. Come to balance on your left foot and your
You
right
have
knee.
a perfect dream about
And decide if you'd like your foot to be on your ankle, your shin, or your upper inner thigh. Bring your hands together in front of your heart. Inhale, reach your arms up. And then you just notice if balance is tricky today.
swimming.
You feel a little more stable. I gotta make a lock feature on it. I think I need to change my settings with it, so participants can't unmute themselves. And if you waver, it's okay. Go ahead and release and shake it out. And then we'll do the second side. So you bring all of your weight to your right foot, turn your left knee out to the side, and decide if you want your foot at your ankle, your shin, or your upper thigh. The only place it can't be is on the side of your knee. And hands to your heart. And when you're ready, arms up. And then go ahead and release and shake it out. And then we'll come to sit. We're going to move into the yin portion of our practice. And first, we'll just take a seat and pause. So you'll close your eyes. And recenter yourself. Feel the beating of your own heart. Feel that you've increased your circulation, that you've been working your muscles. And notice the difference in how your body feels. This is the energy of yang. And now as we sit in quiet, in stillness, we welcome this energy of yin. Allow your awareness to drop back and down into yourself. If you feel called to do so, you can take a few cleansing breaths. And then from here, we'll come into our first stand pose, which is called Sphinx pose. So you do this on your belly. You come to lay on your belly and you prop up on your floor. If your low back is sensitive, you could take your feet a little wider on your mat. And you'll walk your hands up so that your elbows are under your shoulders, or they could even be a little forward of that. And if this bothers your pubic bone, you can put a blanket underneath your pelvis. And then notice if the tendency is to clench your butt and see if you could let that go. And then soften the space behind the heart. If it feels okay on your body, you could let your head hang. And if at any point you need a break, you need to come out, you just lay on your belly and make a pillow for your head with your hands. So we commit to the shape of the pose. And then we see where we can let go of tension, where we can release the gripping, the resistance, the tightening of the body, activation of the muscles. And instead, encourage our body and ourselves, our minds, to let go. Relax your tongue in your mouth. Soften the skin on your face. And see if you can let your belly be soft too. You can start to deepen your breath, bringing a little more yang energy back into your body. And then you'll make your way down all the way onto your belly. Make a pillow for your head with your hands. Let your head rest. And notice what comes up now that you're out of the pose. Maybe you feel relief that it's over, or you notice sensations in your body. So in between every pose, we come into this pause. This place of restoration, where our tissues can rebound and we can reflect. We can be present and feel what we feel from the pose, the benefits and the challenges. In your own time, when you're ready, we'll make our way into our next yin pose, which is child's pose. So you'll bring your hands down to the ground, tuck your toes, and use the strength of your arms to press up and back. For this child's pose, you'll see if you could keep your knees closer together or all the way together. Sit back on your heels. You can walk your arms out, or they could be down by your sides. And if this doesn't work for your body, you could lay on your back and hug your knees into your chest. It's normal here for the low back to feel vulnerable. Or for there to be a lot of sensation in that area of the body. You could send your breath there. Imagine that you could breathe right into the low back.
You can start to take a few deeper breaths.
And then you'll slowly make your way up to sit, just pausing anywhere that feels comfortable in your body. You could stay sitting back on your heels. You could just shift your seat to the side or come into a cross-legged seat. Close your eyes. And just notice. You can check back in with the parts of your body that are on the ground. You can check in with your tongue and your mouth. Try to relax your face a little more. And keep your belly soft as you breathe. And then we'll make our way into our last yin pose. You may find that your temperature changed a little drastically. Maybe you need a couple more layers. Maybe you need a blanket on top of your legs. So this last pose is butterfly pose. You'll bring the soles of your feet together with your knees wide. And you can play with how far away from your body your feet are. So in yang style, they usually come pretty close. In yin, you can take them a little further away. You can make them more like a diamond. And you just notice what feels best on your body. You'll take a breath in, lengthen your spine, shoulders back. As you exhale, hinge from your hips until you find your edge, that point where it's just far enough. You'll take another breath. And as you exhale, you can round your spine. You can let your head hang. But we do this in yin, which is different than in a yang style class, so that the connective tissues of the neck, along the spine of the back, can all begin to stretch. The gravity begins to pull and tug on the tissues. It allows them to begin to open. Fascia needs a certain amount of pressure for a certain length of time for it to begin to open. And you could visualize this by imagining what your hand looks like with all of your fingers closed and touching versus what it looks like when you spread all of your fingers. So fascia opens like a web in this way, but it takes time. So the more we can relax, the more we can let go of our innate tendency to hold ourselves up, to do the pose, to be active and participate. And instead, we connect to this energy of allowing, of receptivity, of simply being. The more that we can let go,
more of the pose can naturally open up as we get out of our own way. And start to take a couple deeper breaths. Inhale slowly, make your way up to find a comfortable seat where you could pause. You keep your eyes closed. your awareness drawn inward. And then from here, you'll make your way onto your back for Shavasana. So whenever you need to be comfortable in Shavasana, take a full breath in. Let it go to the side. Release the weight of your body to the earth. And let go of anything that's no longer serving you. Let go of any imbalances. And be open to receive equilibrium, harmony, balance, and peace as you fully surrender into Shavasana.
Pose. Begin to move and stretch in any way that feels good on your body. And in your own time, draw your knees into your chest. Gently roll to your right side and find your way back up to a comfortable seat. Sit up nice and tall and bring your hands together in front of your heart. Call back your intention that you set at the beginning of class. Feel free to modify or change it in any way to use for the rest of your day, for your week, for this entire spring season. We'll end our class and seal in our intentions with a final cleansing breath. Take a deep breath in. And let it go. Gently bow your head to your heart. The light within me recognizes and honors this very same light in each one of you. Namaste. Thank you all so much for your practice and for being here. My apologies for the tech issues today, and hopefully it wasn't too distracting. And have a good rest of this rainy day.
Thanks, Erin.